and what do you know? Welcome to T's Multiverse. I'm your host, Tyrus, and you know what? It's time for some rock and roll. Yeah, it's time for some rock and roll, y'all. Don't get me wrong. I love my R&B. I love my jazz. I love my inspirational music. I love those things. But I love me some rock and roll as well, folks. And today, we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Craig Rock and Roll McConnell. Didn't know that was his name. I just forgot about all that. I just know him as Rock and Roll. Always loved this character. Now, he was a part of that original wave of G.I. Joe figures that was released way back in the day, back in what, 1982? Was it 1982? So this is a big deal for me, folks. I mean, I fell in love with that line back in the day. Never got a chance to get Rock and Roll. Grunt was my very first G.I. Joe figure. Then I got Stalker. But I look forward to getting the rest of that first wave of characters. Grunt is coming out. They've revealed him and everything. I did a video on that, folks. So we got Grunt. Hopefully we'll get Flash as well as Tripwire and the rest of that first wave of Joes. We got Snake Eyes. We got Scarlet. We do have Stalker and everything like that. So hopefully we get the rest of that wave, folks, because this is exciting. And I love this. This goes way back to my love of the G.I. Joe characters began from way back in the day. So this is cool for me, folks. We got Rock and Roll. I always thought Rock and Roll was so cool. I love his design, simple design that he had, yet and still, I know they added some new elements to this Rock and Roll that I really look forward to diving into, but always loved this character. I just thought that the little bullet things that went across his vest or his chest was just the baddest thing, man. I know I'm using the wrong terminology, folks, but I just love you can share this thing right here. I love it. All right, and I got my main man Rock and Roll out of the packaging, folks, and instantly what comes to mind is all of the rock and roll music and bands that I love. Joanne Jett, the Blackhearts. I love me some Lenny Kravitz, Bon Jovi, AC/DC, Three Doors Down, man. The list goes on and on. All those things really come to mind when I look at this rock and roll action figure, man. It's just so cool. Folks, let me know in the comments, what do you like music-wise from the rock and roll side of things? It could be hard, soft rock, contemporary. Let me know in the comments what you like listening to as a whole. But yeah, man, it's cool. I love it. I love what they did with this figure already. I can tell they put a lot of work into this guy, and everything. I see the tattoos and everything. He's rocking the tattoos and everything. Really excited to dive more into this figure, folks. Before I get more into the review, if you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit that like button, folks, and subscribe to the channel. I'd love for you to join Team Multiverse. So be sure to do those things, folks. I really appreciate it. But yeah, man, we got Rock and Roll here. And before we dive into the Rock and Roll character, let's take a look at what he comes with. Wanted to show some love to the artwork that they're placing inside of the area that these figures are coming into, or they're placed inside. So when you take the figure out, you're treated to this artwork of the figure. So they're starting to do that now. We'll see that with the Shipwreck and the other characters that are coming down the line as well. So that is awesome. I like how they're doing that. This is a really nice touch. Folks, and another thing that they're doing differently with these figures is they're placing the names on the accessory chest for the figures. Here you see Rock and Roll clear as day across the side, and up top you see the number that the figures is within the G.I. Joe Classified line. Here we see the star. Usually they have the little touch pin numbers for the code on the side. So they've taken that away. They've added the star and they've added the character's name, which is a nice touch. So we like that. And let's dive into Let's get Rock and Roll back on the table. Rock and Roll like, wait, man, this is my review. So we got Rock and Roll back on the table. But let's take a look at his accessories here. So he comes with a number of cool things, as usual with G.I. Joe Classified. So we got some little legalese and information here on inside. Well, this is the good stuff here. So we got a little tissue paper that's all in G.I. Joe and Cobra emblem. And let's take a look at the first thing, which is Rock and Roll's vintage helmet. This is really nice, folks. Nice detail, nice design. Has that classic, green, dark green paint deco color and everything. I like this that they placed on the back of the helmet. Nice touch. Love the little pouch design here. Has a little bit of a techie look in a way, but not much. Still has that grounded, G.I. Joe old school look to it. Let's see what this says here. This says, oh, Hang 10. Okay, So Hang 10, because you know Rock and Roll, he likes to surf and everything too. So he's a adventurous type of a guy, man. He's cool, man. I like Rock and Roll. So Hang 10, got little designs and everything. All right, so this looks really cool. So you would just place this on Rock and Roll's head. So we got a little rock and roll action going on with his helmet. All right, so got that with his helmet. All right, up next, Rock and Roll has his vintage gun here. I love what they did with the design and the detail overall for his weapon, because you know Rock and Roll, he's all about those weapons, man, ammunition. So I love it. This here, this little stand is on a swivel. It's much like the Dusty figure, so we have that. That's nice. I love what they did here. Yeah, so they have the area for a blast effect. So if you have blast effect, you can place that inside the little tip area. Get my camera focus. Little area here up top. So I like that. Like I have a little handle here up top as well. They did a good job with that. So overall, nice detail for this weapon here. They did not deviate. They did not get lazy at all. And that's the thing I appreciate with the G.I. Joe Classifieds. They really do a good job with all the accessories and everything. So up next, we have his pistol. So nice pistol, decked out in all black. Nothing else. Just would have been cool if it added maybe a little bit more paint or whatever, but that's all right, man. So we have his pistol here, and his pistol, you can place that within his working holster, which is cool. And that's another thing that I really like about the G.I. Joe Classifieds. Working pistol holsters and gun holsters and knife sheaths. So we have that. So we got Rock and Roll equipped with his helmet, pistol. We also have up next his walkie-talkie, decked out in all green. Nice classic walkie-talkie. I like that. This is pretty cool, folks. So it really takes me back just seeing all the green and everything. Just simple. So we have this walkie-talkie, and it has a little peg here at the end. So I anticipate you will be able to peg this into something. I think right here. So you can peg that right here into his utility belt. All right. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. I'll find out. But yeah, so I picked this here into the utility belt. I'm thinking that's where it goes. So yeah. All right. So we got his walkie-talkie. I like that. I really like the walkie-talkie on the utility belt. That's a nice touch, folks. All right, up next we have this little munitions can that you can attach to his gun here. So you would just take this and you would peg it into this area here, which looks pretty cool. So a little munitions can, I like that. And I wanted to clear this up. This is called a bandoiler. So this is a bandoiler. I just wanted to make sure I get that, because I don't want to go around not giving these things the proper names. And if I miss say anything, I apologize, folks. But yeah, that is a bandoiler. That's so that on this chest, a little munitions bandoiler. This is this little munitions can that you can place his bullets and everything inside. So you can take this here and you can place this like this. If my hands could work. All right, so you can place it like this, or you can take the rest of the other accessory that it comes with, which is this long munitions, I guess, extended piece from the bandoiler, and you can place this here inside that area, and then you can have it like that, I'm thinking, and then maybe you can have him to hold the rest of the ammunitions as he's, welling away at the Cobras with all his guns and everything. So yeah, we have this here, and this looks cool, man. I like this here. This looks pretty awesome that you get all these weapons and accessories with the Rock and Roll character. Again, he's all about the munitions, y'all. So I like that. And again, this doesn't stay, but you're supposed to be able to maybe put this inside this area. That's what I'm thinking. And then you can have him to like kind of hold everything as he's going to battle or whatnot. So I have him do something like that. Something kind of like that. I have to kind of get him posed up. But this is pretty cool, folks. And one other thing, I'm thinking the walkie-talkie, because I remember the promo images. So the walkie-talkie actually goes back here, folks. So you can place the walkie-talkie here, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so it can tap back in. I think it can tap either way. I think you can place it here as well. But I remember the promo images, it had the walkie-talkie here. So you can place the talkie here, or you can place it around the other area. So now, along with all of these accessories that Rock and Roll comes with, he has 2 swappable hands. So he has 2 sets of swappable hands. He has these. He has a fisted hand, which is pretty cool. This looks pretty nice. But what I really love is this hand here that's in the form of a symbol. He has, it seems like he has a tattoo with the grinning skull. Like it has the grin of a skull, and you see the nose, and then you see the grin and the detail here around the mouth of a skull. So that's pretty interesting, folks. This is pretty cool. So this is how I'm gonna pose them. I'm gonna place the little, attach this hand. Actually, instead of me talking about, let's do it now. So I'm gonna attach this here because this is what we see on the display packagings, and this adds personality to the rock and roll, figure overall. So you have this like this, and oh man, see, this makes all the difference. It makes all the difference, folks. Look at that. This is so cool, man. I can hear that rock and roll now. I can hear Living on a Prayer right now by Bon Jovi. This is so cool. Oh man, yeah, rock and roll. Let's get down, man. I love this here. This is awesome. This is a favorite of mine already, folks. Oh, this is so cool. Yeah, I love it, folks. I love it. So he comes with tons of accessories. The swappable hands really add to this figure overall, man. All right, so yeah, man, this guy looks awesome, folks. I mean, the accessories really add to who and what this character is overall. But man, they just went all out with this figure here. I mean, with the bandoliers here across the chest, they did a great job of capturing the detail of the munitions and everything that he has with the bandolier. I love the face sculpt. Looks awesome. The sculpted detail within his hair, the texturing that they have really looks impressive, man. The detail here within the beard, you got to have that classic rock and roll beard. He has that going. The rest of the face sculpt looks awesome. He has that determined look to him, even though, man, he's a free-flowing guy, man. He likes to have fun, but he can get down as well, folks. He can get down with the best of them. I love it. Again, he's one of the original Joes, and I'm just happy that they did this figure, man. I'm really glad that they took to this character because he looks awesome, and it didn't go away too much from how we know this figure to look and this character to look overall. I really like that. You know that this is rock and roll. They didn't go the whole futuristic thing. They've gone away from that, which is good for the classified line because we want to see the classic versions, I feel, of these characters. Yet you can still install a bit of the new. I like that. I like the little new elements that they've added to this rock and roll figure as a whole. You still got the classic dark, green pants or army pants. You do have, I love how they handle the little pouches here on the sides. This is a separate piece, so you can take this off if you want. It takes a little work, but you can. Here he has the little, pistol holster that is working, so you can place the pistol inside there. That's awesome. He has a nice detailed design with the utility belt. That's a separate piece here. It has a working function here. You can place, the walkie-talkie here, or you can place the walkie-talkie behind and towards the back of the utility belt. So that's awesome. No pouches. You gotta have that. You gotta have that drink of water. Got some water canteen. Got another pouch here. He has a peg for a backpack if you want to have that. That's awesome as well, man. So he has all the way through, man. They put some detail into this figure here. A few more huge details that I did not want to leave out, man, that I really appreciate that they did with this figure is the tattoos that they place, down the arms. Really adds even more personality to this, very, adventurous type of a guy, man, in the rock and roll character, man. The amount of detail and effort that was placed into placing the tattoos down the arm here, man. They did an excellent job with that. Very impressed with this. You got the tattoo here on his hand in the form, again, of that, skull grinning and everything. But here we got more on this side of the arm as well, man. Runs all the way down, man. So they really put a lot of effort and detail within this rock and roll figure. Again, I do love the fact that they added the little bandolier, munitions, wrist thing here. I like that. That's another added feature that I appreciate that they added to this rock and roll figure. So there's just so many elements that they've added to this figure that really bring him to life that much more. And just really adds a lot of personality to this character or figure as a whole. He is going to be the pride of my G.I. Joe collection. I'll have him posed like this on the shelf, man. This is just so awesome. I can just hear all the rock and roll music, man. I tell you. Lenny Kravitz, Fly Away. Oh, I love it, man. I love it. Now, in terms of articulation, this figure, his arms go all the way out, no problem at all. Really nice extension in the arms. He does have the butterfly joints, you can see here. He does have bicep swivel, which is really cool. Pinless double jointed elbows, nice extension with the elbow area. Nice rotation and articulation here in the hand area as well. He does have that ab crunch. He can go all the way down like this. So not too bad, not too bad. He does have the little waist swivel as well, not too bad as well. Nice articulation in the head area. He can look all the way up. Really good articulation with the head area. He can look down, side to side, all the way around with his head. Nice articulation with the legs. So you can go all the way with the splits and everything. And he has that little drop down for that extra articulation too. He does have the upper thigh cut here as well, man. So this articulation is excellent for the G.I. Joe Classifieds. Again, pinless double jointed knees. He can go all the way back with no, he can go back to this far, folks. So that's about it. But he can go back this far, which is not too bad. He does have boot swivel as well, which is really cool. And nice articulation in the foot area. A little rocking, not a lot of rocking from side to side. So articulation is really good with this guy, folks. So you will have no problem getting this guy into some pretty cool poses. As a whole, man, I love this figure, folks. He is awesome. I think they did an excellent job with this rock and roll character, a figure, and I look forward to seeing the rest. I look forward to Grunt. Hopefully we'll get Tripwire as well as Flash and Airborne. But I feel like Airborne, folks, is going to be a part of that HasLab. You know, if you haven't checked out my reaction to that Dragonfly HasLab, be sure to do so, man. Everybody's buzzing about that thing, folks. But yeah, man, this guy is awesome, folks. They did an excellent job with my main man, Rock and Roll. And with that being said, y'all, we're going to get on to the next segment. Let's get to it. And here for comparison, alongside our Rock and Roll action figure, are some of his other G.I. Joe buddies from the Classified series in the form of my main man, Dusty. Then up next, we have the Gunbo eating Gun-Ho. Yeah, Gun-Ho, he loves that gumbo, y'all. And then we have the highly skilled redhead known as Scarlet. And then up next, we have the acrobat known as Lonzo Starker Wilkinson. He was also a part of that original wave of Joes with Scarlet and Rock and Roll. Then up next, we have the Silent One and Snake Eyes. And up next, boy, we got another favorite of mine in the one with healing powers, Spirit. And last but not least, we have the ever rhyming, the heavy artillery toting, the gourmet cooking, Roadblock. Yo, show. Let's get on to the next. And here with our Rock and Roll figure, I have some G.I. Joe Classified Tiger Force action coming your way in the form of Bazooka. Then up next, we have Rakondo. And last but not least, we have Outback. All right, folks, that's all I have for this episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Man, this Rock and Roll figure rocks. It is hands down one of the best action figures of the year. Definitely one of the best G.I. Joe Classified figures that they've had, man. They put so much into this Rock and Roll figure. I mean, you could tell from top to bottom, aesthetically, this thing is phenomenal. Hopefully we'll see more of that original wave of Joes realized through the line. Hopefully we'll get Tripwire. Hopefully we'll get Flash. You know, Airborne, maybe. Hopefully, I love Airborne. He was voiced by Peter Cullen. And yeah, hopefully we'll get more of those characters, folks. I'm looking forward to that. But love this figure, folks. Really happy to have him as a part of my G.I. Joe collection. He is one of the prides of my overall Classified collection, folks, for sure. But folks, thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to comment below. Let me know, what do you think about this Rock and Roll action figure? Is this a buy? Is this a pass? Are you on the fence? Or do you have them already? Let me know, folks. Let me know what you're collecting, what you're excited for. But again, thanks so much for tuning in. And folks, don't forget to ring that bell for all notifications so that you get each and every one of my content pieces as it drops. And folks, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That's right. Like, share, subscribe. Got to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you've done that already, folks, I truly appreciate the support. And until next time, folks, be good to one another. Be safe. Stay tuned. And always remember that knowing is half the battle. And now it's time to listen to some rock and roll, folks. Until next time, bye for now.